But I do know some single fathers that have been raising their children hands down without a hiccup. They haven't asked for any child support. They're not asking for no handouts. They're not doing that. Men, we see you. We see you holding down the household. But there should be no reason that a child should grow up they're already growing up in separate homes. Why does it have to be broken homes on both sides? Hello and welcome to the HERshyt Show, where we talk about people, places, and things. Okay, so this is the start of season 4 for the HERshyt Show. I am Hersh, and we wanted to delve into some people, places, and things as we always do. So welcome. This week we want to discuss about family ties, so to speak. So there's a couple of articles that had came out recently, and I'm not sure if, people watched it or whatever. You may end up watching it, or little snippets and clippets that's on social media. Not everybody's meant to be a parent, right? Apparently, some young lady decided that it was going to be okay to leave a 16-month-old in a crib or a playpen of sorts to go on a vacation. I don't know the whole story. I was not there. And I am not going to say if she's guilty or not, but if she did do it, she's a piece of shit. Period, point blank. You do not leave your child by themselves, 16 months old, in a playpen. Who the fuck thought that that was a good idea? Needs to go ahead and meet their maker, so to speak, whoever that maker may be, right? And then there was another incident where a young lady was driving down the highway here in Atlanta, and there was a bassinet partially sticking out of the trunk, or it wasn't closed down, right? And they say, or people say, or whatever, I don't like saying they say, but it has been said that the back seat was down and she had her child holding on to the bassinet to make sure that it didn't fly out of the back of her trunk, right? There was no straps on it or whatever. But somebody ended up recording with the baby's head popped out, like the side or the back of the trunk, right? That shit is stupid. However, you thought that that was a good idea to use your child as a strap, makes no fucking sense. Period, point blank. You deserve to be in jail. And anybody that decides to harm a child in any way definitely deserves to be in jail, right? So like, the hoodie says, do what your pockets, freedom, and sanity can handle. That doesn't mean just everyday life, going to work or getting up and going to the store or hanging out with your friends. That also definitely means being a parent, because your ass is going to jail if you harm these children in any kind of way, whether directly or indirectly, right? That child could have fell out of the back of the trunk. But I'm not going to beat that horse either. We want to delve into the aspect of men creating children and either doing stupid shit to go to jail to be away from that child, or choosing to not be around that child. There are so many children running around on this earth right now that don't know who their father is. And ladies, you are not outside or skating this conversation either, because your dumbass is the one laying down and spreading your legs and accepting the spermlet donation to create children that either the father really told you up front that he didn't want children, or you weren't ready to be a mother, because not every woman is meant to be a mother. Sorry, truth be told. But it's men and women alike, right? You get out, or there's even some situations where, and it was recent, where man got out of prison after doing about 12 years or so, right? He gets out of prison, changes his life around, which we applaud all the time, because it doesn't matter, what you've done in your past. It's all about your present and for the betterment of tomorrow, right? We say it all the time. Dude gets out of prison and gets his certifications in like welding or some type of trade, right? Changes his life around, gets engaged, baby's on the way, this and that and the third, and everything was hunky-dory. But I guess he missed the chaos. I suppose he thought his real dudes was still behind those bars, right? So he decides to go get a drone and attempt to drop contraband off over the fence with a fucking drone, right? I don't understand how you even thought or assumed that that was a good idea to do, right? I guess you missed your dudes. You missed your friends. So you decided to do something stupid, or you possibly thought that you wasn't going to get caught. Either way, right? I'm going to need y'all to start thinking, right? And this goes for, like, my generation is Gen X. Okay, Gen X is the best generation. We know that, right? And we're not off the hook, but we were the last latchkey kids. We are the last latchkey kids. We still drank out of hoses. We still did a lot of things. But even in my generation, there's some fucking dummies. There is. And I don't know if it's because we were left to be feral as children and pretty much figure it out on our own, because if we scraped a knee or got cut or did something, we shook that shit off and we kept moving. I don't know if you assumed that it was for those purposes, that since you've been by yourself to make your own decisions, that some of these decisions are actually good, and they're not. But these same individuals that miss their buddies behind the prison walls or jail walls or whatever, that does stupid shit. And there's even people that work at these prisons that fall in love with prisoners. There's even personnel that assume that it's okay to sneak contraband in, and then you wonder how people are dying on overdose inside the prison walls. That's not just people on the outside doing stupid shit. That's also people on the inside doing stupid shit that work there, that raised their right hand, decided to take an oath to be able to handle business and maintain the populations behind these walls, but you're the one bringing shit in. But these are fathers, these are mothers, these are uncles, aunties, grandmas. Yes, grandmas are still getting locked up too for doing some crazy shit. But it doesn't make everybody have that unity that people need, right? You going in and out of jail is we're creating broken families. Period, point blank. We are creating broken families. When I say we, I mean humans. I mean everybody on this earth are making broken families from the jump and thinking that it's cool. Women are brag, I'm independent, I do it on my own, this, that, and the third, boo, 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 boo. But you still got salt in your mouth because your baby daddy ain't shit. Dudes running around hollering that, mad because they on child support, or mad because, the baby mama is keeping it. Well, you should have did your background checks before you even decided to skeet off in it. You chose, when you laid down, to not strap up and pull out, as much as she chose to lay down and spread and be a catcher. It works both ways. It's not just one side or the other. And yes, there are some trifling individuals that will woo a woman in making her think that he is the best thing popping and they're always going to be together, blah, 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 blah. And there's some women that'll just have a child because they want to try to keep the man around. So it does go both ways. Men and women alike are fucking up. We're fucking up. We're creating babies without fathers around, without mothers around. We're so strong and independent, women. We're so strong and independent that we feel like we can do it on our own, but then turn around in the same breath and bitch about the man not being around. But you might be the one pushing him away, right? Instead of being the adults in the situation and coming together for the child, you don't have to talk outside of what that child got going on. You don't have to be in each other's business. All you need to know is that child is safe. Your child is safe. Your child is well taken care of. They're going to school. They're not needing for anything. And that's on both sides of the house. And the debate is going to forever be the same with the child support situation. The child support is for the child, right? The mother is coming out of pocket. If the child is at the mom's house, the mother is coming out of pocket way more than that fucking child support does. You know what I mean? So how about y'all both be fucking adults and figure it out? What does that baby need? And stop creating scenarios and situations where you have chaos and madness around your children, and you're acting ignorant as fuck around your children, and then you wonder why your child turns out to be a disrespectful individual or you can't control your child, but hell, you can't even control yourself. So this topic is all over the place, but what it boils down to is being a parent, being an adult, raising respectable young men and women of society. And please stop making broken homes and then acting surprised when the next generation does the same thing or the next generation does that. You may have been raised the same way. So how about we stop the madness and try to create, and shit does happen, right? I was a single mother. I'm not going to deny it. But at the same breath, I can say that mine was raised by a village. I didn't do it by myself. I was a mother by myself, but I didn't raise him by myself. I had an entire village around that was not bloodline. They were extended family, his godfather's side of the family. Like, I can speak on this from experience. He had the individual that didn't really want to reach out. And it wasn't my business. Whatever your baby daddy, your baby mama is doing, it's not your business, right? As long as your child is safe, whatever they do outside of the household or whoever they are dating, and that's another thing, that's a whole different topic, but stop bringing Tom, Dick, Harry, Annie, and Barbara, and Debbie, and all of them around your children. Stop. Just stop. Period. And you know what the fuck I'm talking about. I don't even have to repeat myself. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody is not meant to know where you live or know your children, right? The safety of your child is number one. There's too many stories out here where children are being abused, or before they can even speak, they're being murdered by the hands of their parents before they can even speak, before they even get a chance at life. And I will also state that postpartum is a real thing. So when you start seeing the mother acting out of character or doing certain things that may throw up red flags, you might want to step in and assist that mother, because postpartum is real. It is very much real, and it is very much scary. Women do literally lose their minds after giving birth. And men will sit back and say, well, she's a mother. She had him. You know what I mean? Like, she needs to suck it up and do her motherly duties. Well, how about you suck it up and start doing your fatherly duties at the same breath? It is not just up to the mother to be up late at night and all times of the hours, lack of sleep and this and that and the third. And we're still supposed to act normal. Like ain't nothing changed. Our entire body fucking changed and pushed out a watermelon. You know what I mean? Sometimes we need a little break and help. And I'm not meaning a break by going to the grocery store. I'm not meaning a break by going into the bathroom and sitting in the bathroom in the tub crying for 5 or 10 minutes, right? It takes unity. It takes a family cohesion, whether it's bloodline, extended, adopted, whatever. It takes a village to raise children. And right now, our children are running amok on these streets because the village has decided to mind their own business. But our children is our business, right? And then you got videos of parents acting a fucking fool in drive-through lines because they got cut off from the other adult. Drive-through lines. There's literally a video right now that's spreading around in Georgia where two grown-ass women jump out and start arguing at each other because she got there first. And the other lady felt like she was supposed to be there first. Now, these are Gen X women. These aren't millennials. These aren't Gen Zs. These are Gen X women. Grown-ass women arguing in a drive-thru, and their comeback was, but I got full coverage, though. Make that shit make sense, man. How are you going to sit here? You got to look at this video at yourself and see how fucking stupid you really sound. Y'all over here beefing and arguing about Taco Bell at that. Y'all over here beefing and arguing in a line of who got there first. And then you want to try to discipline your child or treat your child some kind of way if they act the ass or get disrespectful while they're at school and the teachers, in front of the teachers and stuff. We already don't pay teachers enough. We already don't pay the people that actually assist in the village by choice of choosing careers in that path. We don't pay them enough. We don't pay them enough attention. And then you get attitudes with them. And then you sitting in a drive-thru arguing with each other about to wreck each other's brand new vehicles, and your comeback is, but I got full coverage though. Full coverage. Make that shit make sense. And then we wonder why our children are acting a fucking fool. Like, all the way around. Think about it, man. Dude, stop creating broken families. There's children running around that don't even know who their real family is. Because the mom or whoever, the guardian, is raising them saying that the dad side of the family ain't shit. But the whole meanwhile, the dad side of the family probably didn't even know that the child existed. Or the mom, or as I call them, the uterus donator or the egg donator, right? They weren't meant to be mothers either, so they just dropped the child off with mama or auntie or cousin and get the hell on. And then the ones that do actually protect their child and provide for their child, they're making dumbass decisions like, I'm gonna pull this trunk seat down and you gonna hold on to this bassinet because I ain't got no straps. It's all, this whole conversation is everywhere, but it's at the same place at the same time. And I'm quite sure if you sit back and think about it, you're going to think of somebody in your family that I'm talking about, right? Again, dudes is running around, sticking and slipping wherever they can, which ain't nothing wrong with that. If you want to catch a nut, catch a nut. That's your business. But be smart about it. If you are not ready to be a parent for the rest of your life, because it doesn't end at 18. That's definitely a different conversation. It doesn't end at 18. You are going to be a parent for the rest of your life once you decide to stip, dip, and clip, right? And the females that are trying to trap, you stupid as hell anyway, because you are asking to be left alone raising a child. But some situations may surprise you. The dude may actually be a part of the child's life, regardless of you trying to trap them or not. But women, you do not hold the power when it comes down to these children. And the worst part about it is, like, dudes will literally give up because the court systems are typically not in their favor. But I do know some single fathers that have been raising their children hands down without a hiccup, without a beat, without anything. They haven't asked for any child support. They're not asking for no handouts. They're not doing that. Men, we see you. We see you holding down the household. But there should be no reason that a child should grow up in, they're already growing up in separate homes. Why does it have to be broken homes on both sides? Work together to be a part of the child's life. Make safe decisions for that child. And it doesn't matter where you live, it's how you live it. I'll say that again. It doesn't matter where you live, it's how you live it. And if your children are not your motivation to get your shit together, then you do not deserve to have your child. Somebody else can raise that child because you obviously ain't it. If you are choosing to still do stupid shit to where your pocket's freedom and sanity are being tested and you ain't even thinking about that child, then you don't deserve that child. You don't deserve to be a parent. Yeah, I said it. I said it. You're more than welcome to come for me. You more than, like, I tussle too, right? But I tussle with facts. And I don't know every single individual on this earth, and I do not know your circumstance. But I do know, speaking from experience, the day that I found out that I was pregnant, I changed. That moment. I refused for my child to grow up the way that I did. And I held that boundary up. What are you doing to better the life of your child? Are you communicating or attempting to communicate, not talk to? Are you attempting to communicate and come to an agreement about the children, about the child? What are you doing? I'm asking you to ask yourself, look in that reflection in the mirror. Am I doing everything possible to raise my child to be a respectable individual of society as they get older? I'm not speaking entitled. I'm not speaking spoiled. And ain't nothing wrong with spoiling your children either at the same time. So y'all need to get that shit out of your head. But you also have to teach and guide and discipline as you go along the way. Stop expecting for society or everybody else to raise your child and you're in the same household and not even having a conversation with them. You have to text them just to be able to speak or get them to acknowledge you. What are you doing in your life for the betterment of you and your child's life for tomorrow? Are you changing, or are you still trying to rip and run the streets? Are you still trying to dip and dodge and go, oops, I slipped on the dick, or I slipped in the puss? Like, what are you doing? If your child come first, man, your child comes before the partying, before anything outside of your monetary value. And I'm not meaning monetary value in the street life. I mean in monetary value in the legality side. What are you doing? And if you can't honestly answer yourself that or look your child in the eye, what if they start following the same path? Then what? You can't discipline them because your dumb ass was doing the same thing. Unless you was able to get out of that lifestyle and change up for the betterment. But at the same instance, I do understand no matter what we do and give them the perfect household, perfect enough for y'all, you know what I'm saying? Imperfectly perfect. Your child is still going to end up making their own decisions as they become a young adult. They are. And we can break our backs. So I see it from all sides. I'm not just dogging the parents, right? Because we were once kids. We was once teenagers. And then once we became young adults, we started making our own decisions. So it does matter how your children are raised because you were supposed to be planting those seeds, right? But at the same breath, don't beat yourself up if they decide to go out there and do something stupid and lose their freedom. Don't fuck with your pockets because they chose to lose their freedom. Don't fuck with your own sanity because they chose to lose their freedom. And that goes with our young adult children, baby daddies, baby mamas, cousins, aunties, whoever. But at the end of the day, it does still take a village to raise a child. And who are we to break that? Who are we to stop stepping in respectfully, not just coming out ignorant about it, but respectfully stepping in and saying, hey man, you want to talk about this? You want to talk about your situation? Because me and my circle, if we doing something ignorant towards our children's fathers or our baby daddies or whatever you want to call them, we will check each other. Like, you might have went overboard on that. We're not hyping each other up to be ignorant. We're trying to calm the whole situation down for the betterment of the children. And if your circle of friends is only talking shit and trying to hype you up, they're not your friends, baby. They like drama. They like chaos. And if your baby daddy or baby mama is out here acting a fool on you and worried about what you got going on in your household, and that child is very well taken care of, and the child support is being used for the food and the clothes and whatever that child needs, don't entertain it. Don't put fuel to the fire. That's all I'm saying. We got to communicate better or love from a distance. When you decide to be a parent, then you call my phone. Or take me to court. Either way. But there's ways to go around it. And ladies, again, you are not off the hook. Stop putting last names on these babies' birth certificates knowing goddamn well that is not their daddy. Stop trying to pick and choose. Especially if you loosey-loose. We got to stop. We got to be better. We got to do better. The next generation must do better. And stop shying away from conversations with your teenagers. Especially if you know that they're sexually active. You better have those talks with them. Don't wait on the oops, I didn't know moment. I didn't know that you was fucking. Yes, you did. You knew. You knew your little girl was a hoe. You knew that the little thoughtness was built up in them. You knew your son was bouncing around from her to her and her. You can tell when they get their little first dip and slip. The whole attitude changes. And it ain't got nothing to do with just hormones. You can tell. Start having these open conversations. And adult men and women, y'all need to start having these candid conversations with the people around you. If you see that your dude fucking up and you see that your homegirl fucking up, have that conversation with them and address it. You ain't got to be disrespectful about it. But at the end of the day, these children are our future. And I know I just went back to the old school song, but they are our future. And it's up to us to do the best that we can while we still have them. But stop also making decisions to where you may harm your child accidentally. And then it's a oops, my bad, I can't believe I did it. We got to get right. We got to make it happen. It's up to us to guide. Reach one, teach one. Until next time, this is the HERshyt Show.
Be sure to log on to youtube.com and subscribe to the HERshyt Show at TheHershYtShow.